Right, okay, hello everybody. As part of Hunslet's commitment to keeping the fans up to date with what's been happening these last few strange months of lockdown, I've got our chairman here, Ken Sykes, and I've got a few questions we're going to ask him. It's been a really strange few months. For me, it's been brilliant to see Hunslet top of the league for 3 months, but we'd rather be getting back to the action. So let's see what Ken thinks about this. So, you came in at a time when the finances weren't looking too rosy. The lockdown can't have helped the situation, so how is the club placed now?
Well, it's a good question, really. I mean, basically, we're fairly sound. We've got a fantastic set of members and supporters, people who put money into the club, and that helps. That's helping greatly. Of course, we've got the furlough situation as well, which again has helped, and we've managed to maintain a really good relationship with the players. They're quite motivated. Gary's put a really good squad together. As you said, the season was starting really well. We're still top of the league. But of course, everybody, I mean, all the clubs, it's not just Hunslet, it's all the clubs are going through a difficult time, and I suspect there'll be some clubs, some long-established clubs who are struggling a lot more than we are. We've got on top of the finances, pardon me, we've got on top of the finances, Phil Oshner, our finance director, he's put a lot of hard work in. We're making sure that we don't waste money. So hopefully we'll be okay at the end of the day.
Well, it's certainly been good to see fans still keeping the commitments with the monthly payments. I've noticed that a lot of people are still keeping going, and we seem to have a good set of lads in the players.
Yeah, I mean, just picking up on that one, Ian. I've actually one of the jobs that I've taken on, because I've still got a lot to learn. It's much more complex than I ever anticipated it was going to be. Yeah, but I've made a sort of deliberate plan. I haven't been able to speak to all our supporters. In fairness, some of them I don't know particularly well, but that's something that I want to improve as time goes on. But I've spoken to quite a lot of members. I've spoken to a fair number of season ticket holders, and fingers crossed, so far, pretty much all of them, 100% have actually said, yeah, we know that the club is struggling through. We don't want any money back. We're gonna keep going. So it's a good point there.
Certainly got a core of hardcore support.
Yeah.
So the club, we're looking for new owners, stroke investors pre-season. Is this still the case?
Well, I think what we've got to obviously do is keep an open mind. I mean, I do like the idea of the fact that we are an owners club, but rugby league's going to go through some sort of difficult times over the next few years, and if we were able to get somebody in, or a few people in who want to invest in the club, we would have to be open to that, whether they wanted to own the club or whether they wanted to just put some money into it. So I don't think you can actually rule that out. But no. At the moment, I think we're probably quite happy where we are at the moment.
Yeah, I think so. What are your views on playing behind closed doors? You're about to watch football later on, play behind closed doors, and if we do play, I want my crowdie in the best seat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've been watching it on. Well, if you've got Sky, if you can afford Sky, you've been watching it there. The rugby in Australia, which has been good, but it's strange. I mean, there's pop-up faces and stuff in there in the crowd. There's some sort of sounds and cheering and stuff like that. The problem really with behind closed doors, and we've had to deal with a lot of the information that's come through from the rugby league is that it's the financial side.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you generate some money? and on top of that, you've got players currently who are being furloughed. As soon as they start training, which is part of the activity, as soon as they start training, they come off the furlough scheme. So then you've got to pay the players as well, really. So from a financial point of view, I just don't think it works. But that's where we are at the moment. There's been no decision yet as far as whether the league is going to continue, and that's something I think that possibly might get sorted out fairly soon.
I think that's in early July. I think some decisions to be made. I know Super League's going back 2nd of August, so
yeah. Well, we need to have one of our board meetings. We've been having regular meetings by Zoom or all the various hangout systems and stuff like that. Quite challenging in a way, but we've been having meetings. We'll have a meeting next week to complete the survey, which is related to behind closed doors specifically. I think there's a small number of clubs who want to start the season up. We do. We want to play. We want to play rugby. The players want to play rugby.
yeah.
But is it safe? And is it financially viable? So we've got this survey to do next week, and then I think round about the 6th of July there's a meeting of the Rugby Football League board, and maybe they might make a decision then, or it could be deferred again. So at the moment we just don't know.
No, as you say, I mean, if even if we did go back, it'd be difficult getting the Phoenix bar full, for example, and that's where we make a lot of money. So there's a lot of things, a lot of problems for us. But yeah, we all want to see the season finished. I think that's for definite.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But if we don't end up playing, what does that mean in terms of the playing squad? Will we be able to keep them for next year? What already looks like a good solid team that have got a bit of good team spirit about them.
We've got a good squad. It's a shame, really, isn't it? Really, I mean, the way I think about it, really, now, put it in from my own experience, the way I would think would be, there's unfinished business, really.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
If we're in a situation where we don't play any more games, albeit there might be a few games at the end of the season, some sort of cup competition or something like that. But if we don't play the normal league season, if I was a player, and I've never really been particularly mercenary really, but if I was a player, I would want to see it as unfinished business, and that's so we are hoping that we can retain most of our squad. We know we've got some good players. We won't have the amount of money that we had last season, you know. So that's obviously going to be a factor, and we know that some players will quite naturally possibly look elsewhere. But I would appeal to the players, to the squad, to see it like I see it, as unfinished business. Other clubs are going to be struggling as well. All rugby leagues are going to be struggling. Let's if we don't play again this season, let's get back next season, and let's get up in that championship where we really need to be.
Well, I hope so. I mean, Gary's put his faith in the players, and they've shown it so far. So let's hope that they do want to, like you say, finish the job they started.
There was a really good article in the Evening Post, wasn't there? I think it was in very recently, where Gary had been saying the problem with the players at the moment is it's this uncertainty. I think we need to know really whether or not the season is actually going to kick off. But from what we understand, they are still fairly motivated. They are training at home, and if we do get the call, obviously we'll be ready.
We'll be ready, yeah. So on the subject of teams, there's another team off the field, and that's the supporters. We're sat here resplendent in our NHS tops that have been bought. I don't know how many we've sold, but we've sold quite a lot of them. So how can the supporters help in fundraising?
Well, I mean, some of our supporters have actually been quite busy over the last few weeks. So in addition to the shirts, where I understand we made a profit of about £1,000 which is going to be split equally between the club and the NHS, which is one of the main reasons why we did that. And whilst I don't forget it, of course, Tommy Asher, if you remember, we did publicise the fact that he, through his employer, there was some PPE equipment which went to the Silver Rider Wheatfields hospice and what have you. So there's that. In addition, of course, we've had the face masks. I've had mine on earlier today.
Yeah, you can put it on again
I'm
if you want to show
not
people.
going to put it on. I don't want to frighten anybody, but that Pat Bennett Main has done for us. She's still doing one or two more, but there's £500 which has
That's fantastic.
which has come from that. And then of course we had pricey please sing, please don't sing scenario, didn't we? And about £500 from that. And being a members club, we think about it. If we could get a large number, let's say 200 supporters, not impossible, all doing something on a similar basis to that, that would be a fantastic boost for the club. So if any supporters are aware of anybody who would want to do this for us, any supporters who want to have a go, raising some money, come up with their own ideas, we'll support them in any way that we possibly can. That's the thing that we need to do. We also need to try and improve our membership. We have actually fairly recently had some new members,
Yes, we did.
some Watson members. I've upgraded mine. Wayne Baldwinson was certainly one. I think there's been one or two other ones as well. All the Murrays, Gordon Murray's family and what have you. If we can increase those, we're in a fight here, and we want to try and raise as much money as we possibly can. So any ideas that anybody has would be fantastic.
Yep, I agree with that, and I'm sure there's got to be somebody out there that can sing better than Pricey.
I think it's quite good.